We're going to talk about oud today and why it's so in demand. What is oud? Pretty much a mold that grows inside of an argo tree. The argo wood tree grows in South Asia, in India, Philippines. It's a very fragrant and dark kind of wood, so it grows pretty dense. There's a ton of different people who grow the argo wood. The process is you would drill a bunch of these holes and then you would add a bacterial compound. They have probably secret formulas for that bacteria to rapidly grow the mold inside the tree, and it kind of hollows out the tree and it gives this kind of oud-like quality. I'm not a professional in this, but you take the healthy argo wood, introduce this resin inside the tree, kind of eats and petrifies the wood inside. You grind down the tree and then you can hydro distill it, and that's where you can extract the argo wood oils. It's a fascinating process. There's a link in the description down below if you wanted to go check out a video on it. Oud is a type of mold that kind of attacks the wood, and it almost kind of petrifies the wood, essentially. There are some companies that do reproduce the oud making growing process, but it's a very challenging growing process. But we're gonna talk about the stankiness of oud, and we're gonna also talk about synthetic ouds, and we're also gonna talk about like incorporating other woody ingredients, but adding a little touch of oud to kind of, you know, freshen up the oud, I suppose. But I'm gonna give you some recommendations on some of the oud fragrances that I really like and some that I really don't like. All right, so how does oud smell for somebody who has never smelled oud before? I would say that it smells like a dark wood with this smokiness, but it's almost like a leathery animalic kind of undertone. It almost punches you in the face. Straight oud is very rich, it's very resinous, and it also has this kind of stinky like woody kind of smell. It's very popular in a lot of countries. They actually smoke it like and then douse themselves in the smoke, and then it sticks to their clothing, which is awesome. I think I've never tried it before. All right, so let's talk about some oud fragrances. Some of the fragrances that I love that incorporate oud in there are from Initio. There's one fragrance that I don't particularly love from Initio, and that would be Oud for Greatness. And Oud for Greatness has a clone. There's a clone of it called Bal at Oud, Oud for Glory. I have a video on this explaining why I hate this fragrance. So if you want to go check that out, feel free to. But it's a very patchouli dominant with a nice oud character mixed in there. This is a heavy ISO-y super fragrance, and then very underlying, there's this nice oud character, nice Gaiac wood. It's a challenging fragrance for me to wear. It's a very dominant, masculine, kind of heavy wood kind of fragrance, but that's Oud for Glory. And they're pretty much identical. They have slight nuances, but pretty much they're the exact same. Anyway, let's get back to the two that I really love from Initio. Paragon, obviously, and then Oud for Happiness. So Oud for Happiness, it has this nice vanillic kind of tone with this nice woody kind of smell to it, but the oud is very low in here, and it just provides a nice animalic character with this heavy emphasis on this dark woods in here. But the vanilla in here sweetens it up. And so that's the commonality with a lot of the oud fragrances that I really love, is the oud is kind of like just a hidden character. Like one of my favorites is Jeremy Fragrance's Office for Men, that has a little bit of oud in there, but it's done in such a low level that it just comes across as a dark wood. It doesn't come across like very animalic. This is a good clone of that Office for Men, Celestial Blue from Fragrance World. Really good if you want to check it out. I think it's on Fragrance Buy. But another one that's really, really good, Ministry of Oud. This is from Paris Corner, or Amir. This is inspired by of Royal Oud from Creed. And Royal Oud, let's talk about that one for a minute. That one is a heavy cedarwood kind of smell with this nice addition of oud to kind of just heavy the woods. And so it doesn't come across too animalic, but it has a nice character mixing in with that cedarwood. That is such a phenomenally done fragrance. It is a masterpiece in my opinion. Ministry of Oud's Royal or Oud Royal, excellent, really good. I like wearing this a lot. Great signature scent, easy to rock. It's mainly a dominant cedarwood fragrance with this addition of oud in here, which is just stunning. Oud does really well when it's mixed with rose and a sweet saffron kind of smell. So Oud Satin is another one from Ministry of Oud. I just kind of saw this one sitting right next to it. And really good offer in here. This is a kind of inspired by off Mason Francis Kirkjohn's Oud Satin Mood. And that one is a oud, rose, and saffron kind of mix that has this nice sweet essence from the saffron, this nice floral quality coming from rose, and then the nice deep woods. So it's kind of like a top, middle, and bottom. Rose is a very middle note, and it's very floral, balancing kind of act. Oud is a very deep bass note, and then saffron is a very sweet top note, which that whole DNA is just an excellent formulation. It's a really good offering from MFK. But yeah, the general gist is like Oud is a very challenging fragrance to wear on its own, for me at least. It comes across very animalic, smoky, resinous, intensity behind it. I really like when it's layered with certain things. Another good one, this one is heavy in the oud department, and this is kind of where it gets a little bit challenging for me, is this one is Vanilla Oud by Virtus, and it is, like the name suggests, this one is a vanilla oud fragrance. It has a little bit of a rhubarb smell in here, which freshens it up, greens it up a little bit, kind of an earthy kind of feel. A ton of citrus though in here. The oud in here is a bit old, stinky kind of oud. It has character. This has a nice depth here. You're gonna find that it comes across a little animalic, a little stinky, but it has such rich character in here. Musk in here is really well done too. Balances out pretty nice. Florals in here really kind of tone down the oud a little bit. But once again, they have a lot of things over around the oud that really subdue it a lot. Like vanilla. Vanilla is a great one too because it's sweet and it's addictive. I think it's one of the most loved fragrance notes in the world is vanilla. And so when you wrap that around oud, it just smells fantastic. The general advice that I would give is anytime you see oud, that should be a red flag to really sample first before you go and blind buy it. Let's talk about one that is really intense for me is Honey A Oud. And so this one got a lot of buzz online years ago. This one was a heavy hype beast. This is an example of like oud that I cannot wear. This one is so intense, so powerful. I really want to smell it again, but I know if I spray it in my apartment here, it's just going to consume the whole apartment for days. It's a really long lasting fragrance. If you like long lasting, this is a great option. The honey in here, it is sweet, but it's much more oud centric here. Very dirty, animalic kind of oud. I haven't sprayed it in a long time and I can't really smell it from the atomizer here. So I've only worn this fragrance like twice, and both times were extremely challenging. You kind of have to, discern what your level of tolerance is for oud, especially with oud. It's a fragrance note that just need to like see it and then sample and then buy it when you know you like it. That's what I did with Oud for Happiness. I bought a clone of it. It was like a $30 clone, wore the clone tremendously, and then I finally said, you know what, this is a fragrance that I really love, so I bought this one on my birthday. It was like 200 and something bucks, but it's excellent. It's really good. The reason for the video though is I wore this the other last Sunday or so, Azure A Oud, and passion fruit in here. There's some other fruity kind of qualities in here, but it's very clean and it's got a clean oud and this almost like rubbery kind of texture to the oud, and it does come across a bit stinky, a little animalic and a little skanky, but it has a nice balance here to where it's just right on the cusp of being too much for me, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. This one's a very situational fragrance. It's like I would wear this on certain occasions and I don't even know what those occasions are yet. Once something happens or when I get invited to something, then I'll maybe wear it. But right now, I don't know when I'm gonna wear this, and like with other oud fragrances, I know I'm never gonna wear them again. So it's a bit challenging, but the passion fruit, the fruity aspects in here, nice woody tone in here, I really like it. It's just really, really hard for me to wear. I want to leave this conversation open. What is your take on oud? Let me know your experience with it. Is it challenging for you? Do you like the smell of oud? Are you interested in wearing just straight oud? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your take on oud. What are your thoughts? Thank you so much for watching the channel. We'll see you next time.